Good morning Internet, this is Michael from Trike Bike and we've been sent another bike to review. Today we're on the new Vonride A20 model. It's a recent introduction to Australia and it's designed for more budget friendly riders that are looking for a whole heap of options but don't need a premium tricycle and they don't need to spend that much money. So today I'm going to roll you through the different features of this tricycle, who it's suited for, the quality of its manufacture, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy this short introductory video. We're talking today about the Vonride A20 model. We're going to go through some of the basic features of the Vonride A20. We'll start at the front. We have a small basket. It's a lot smaller than other bikes, but it's big enough for a handbag, your lunch, or whatever you want to take with you. So we'll start with our basket. We've got front fork suspension. So if I push down, you can see the forks operating. We've got an aluminium frame. This is powder coated in a satin finish. I'm just going to go around the other side. Now the important part of this is it's a folding tricycle. So I can release the clamp here, lift up the lock, and then I can fold the front wheel around, which will make it shorter in length. Interestingly, this has also got a little support at the bottom, so when it's folded it can sit on the ground and won't roll over. A lot of tricycles don't have that. To lock it back in place, we lift up, push, it locks it, and then the clamp goes over the top. Now it's locked back into place. So aluminium frame, we've got steel rear axle assembly, we've got a large rear basket, which is normal size for most of these trikes. It's got a basket liner, which is good. It'll stop anything that's in there coming out and getting lost. We've got a rechargeable lithium ion battery. Standard is 48 volt, 15 amp hour. And that's more than enough for most people. It'll give you 40 to 60 kilometres just on throttle alone. Our seat is a tilting seat and it's also a comfortable seat. This is used on a lot of tricycles, so it's nice and wide. It has a backrest which is adjustable up and down, and it also tips forward. So there's a little lever on the back. I can tip that forward, and now I can remove the battery if I need to remove it for charging. So if you don't need to remove the battery, you can just leave it in its position all the time. This battery is rechargeable and we can activate it by just sliding this little port open, and in here our battery charger goes in. Speaking of battery charger, it comes with a 2 amp hour charger that'll recharge this battery in between 5 and 6 hours depending on how flat it is. Our battery's in the off position, so the battery's actually locked into the frame and can't be removed. I'm just going to tip this seat out of the road for the demonstration. I'm going to put the key in, push it in and turn it to the left. Now I can lift the battery out of its holder and take it away for charging. Once I turn the key from the unlocked position to the off position, the battery is locked in place. To turn the tricycle on, I rotate to the right hand side. Now the electrics is on for the tricycle and it can go for normal operation. On the front we've got hydraulic disc brakes, so these are actually working quite well. We've got a 4-inch wide tyre which has got a good tread pattern on there. Not sure how long it lasts, but it looks pretty good to me. Up front we've also got a combination LED light and horn, and I took it out yesterday afternoon as the sun was going down. It's actually quite good. The standard mounting point for this light is down here on top of the mudguard, and talking of mudguards, they're nice and wide and will protect you while you're riding, but this light, they normally have it down in this position. But being a heavier rider, I find I can press the shocks too much in the front end and the light can get damaged when the basket comes and hits it. So I've put the light on the front of this basket on this model. The handlebars on this model has got a stalk up the front here, and then the handlebars can raise up and down and they can also twist backwards and forwards. So this will give you quite a lot of adjustment. When you're folding your bike away to put it in the back of a car, you can drop these handlebars. It's quite simple. We lift this up, rotate the catch down, and then we can just let the handlebars fall away. So this lowers the actual height of the tricycle to get it into the back of a motor vehicle. To secure them in place again, we just lift up, lock it in place, put this lever back. Now the handlebars are locked and ready for safe operation. Okay, let me run you through the handlebars. We've got fairly conventional handlebar grips. These are a fairly firm rubber. They should last a long time. As I mentioned before, hydraulic brakes on each side. The left hand side has actually got a parking brake. I've got the parking brake on now, which is good. It means the tricycle won't roll away. We have some fairly basic controls on this tricycle, but again, that is all we need. So I'm going to press the M button, which stands for mode, to turn the bike on, and the screen will light up in a few seconds. It says C there, so it's asking me to put in a key number entry. But the good thing about this tricycle is it has NFC cards. So we can just put the NFC card there and it'll turn the tricycle on for operation. Without the card and without the code, the tricycle is not operable. Display screen is fairly good. It's a reasonable size. The backlight is not as powerful as some, but it's still more than good enough to see how fast you're going and what you're doing, the different modes you're on. Speaking of modes, we have 5 electric modes. So when it turns on, it's in mode 1. If I press the minus button, I can go down to mode 0, which will give me like just a pedal tricycle. There'll be no electric assistance. It's showing at the moment an error code. And that's because I've got the front brake locked on, so I'll just take that off. Now I'll go up into pedal assist number 1, and as I press the buttons further, it'll climb all the way up to assistance level number 5, which is a maximum electric assistance that you can get from the tricycle. Okay, on this side as we go further, we've got a Shimano 7-speed gear system. It's thumb operated, so you press the thumb to go up the gears and you press your thumb to go down the gears. As always, I'm only just showing you this while we're stationary. Do not do this when you're playing around, otherwise a chain will fall off. Only change the gears while you're riding. On this side we've got our brake. We have a throttle. I'll just put the lever on, handlebar brake lever, and we've got our throttle here, so it's what's called a half twist throttle. If I left the brake off, the bike would roll away, as you can see there. Now on the right hand side we've also got our horn. That's nice and loud and good enough to alert people. And here we've got basically a forward and reverse switch. So in the forward position, the bike will go forwards. In the R position, it'll go in reverse. And that could be good for some riders, especially if they have really weak legs and can't push the tricycle backwards. Hey, on the rear we have full width plastic mudguards. These won't rust and they seem to be fairly good. I think they'll last the lifetime of the tricycle. Again, we've got a general purpose off-road, on-road tyre, which will offer good performance and traction. We've got a disc brake on each of the rear wheels, which is great. And as we get here, I'll just go over the top. We've got our motor down in here, in between the rear wheels. Now this is a 250 watt motor, so that means it complies with Australian e-bike regulations. On the front we've got our LED light. On the back we've also got an LED light that comes on when you turn the lights on. It also has a brake light option, so when you squeeze the brakes, the light increases in intensity and can tell other riders that you're slowing down. So everything we've got here is a fairly conventional layout. It's a fairly low step over. Most people, if they can climb stairs, is going to be able to get on this correctly. So I'll just put the brake on, step over, get up onto the seat, get my feet on the pedals. Now the pedals are not underneath the seat. They're not forward like a semi-recumbent. They're sort of like in the middle. So it's fairly comfortable to ride. The handlebar position for me is a little bit too far away. I'm slightly leaning forward, I feel, but it's just a matter of whatever you get used to riding, you get used to riding. I could make adjustments to them, but this is a demonstration tricycle, so I'm just sort of going over the story as it is. Backrest is nice. I don't use it much. Some people use it a lot, but it's there for people with lower back problems. But on the bike, it's a very comfortable layout. The handlebars are standard width, which is about 66 to 68 centimetres. All of the controls are really easy to use. And performance-wise, it's only a 250 watt motor, but that'll get you up to 25 kilometres an hour. And it accelerates fairly quickly, I must say. Yeah, and overall, I imagine most people are going to be really happy with this tricycle and the way it rides. Performance-wise, in riding, it's probably a little bit narrower than some tricycles, so it doesn't have stability like some tricycles, but then you're not riding this tricycle really fast. It's designed for an older rider, a budget-conscious rider, someone who doesn't want to spend a lot of money. but for well under $2,500 for this tricycle in Australia, including GST, you're getting a whole lot of tricycle for your money. There's a lot of features here that you would only see on more expensive tricycles, even though the equipment level is generally lower. It comes with an Australian warranty, so you're going to be very pleased with the tricycle in service. Most of the parts used on this tricycle are common with other tricycles, so getting parts in the future shouldn't be a problem either. Follow me, let's go for a ride. Hey, I'm just in first speed electric and first gear pedal, and we're just going to roll along down this pathway. I'm doing about 5 or 6 kilometres an hour in this setting. If I go up in the electric settings, I'll go up to 25 kilometres an hour. And for legal Australian compliance, this tricycle is limited to 25 kilometres an hour. It won't go any faster. The turning circle in this tricycle is very, very sharp. We've got about a 5 foot, 1.5 metre wide road here. So I'm just going to turn the handlebars at 90 degrees. I'm going to just put on a little bit of throttle, and you'll see I can turn around in the width of the road. I'll keep going right around. So just a little bit of throttle. We can roll ourselves around, and now we can keep riding. Now, one thing I didn't mention about this tricycle, it's also got cruise control. Now, I'm still working out how to use this, but if you have the throttle set and leave it in the same position for about 8 seconds, you can actually then engage cruise control, and you can ride along without actually using the throttle twist grip at all. That's a nice feature on this. It's something that you don't see on many tricycles. Well, that's it for this one. The Vonride A20 model. It's a entry-level budget tricycle, under $2,500 in Australia, including tax. It's going to find itself a really nice market at that price. It is a great tricycle. It's not built to the same standards as our premium models, but you would expect it to not be the same standard for the price. This is going to suit 9 out of 10 people. You're going to have a lot of fun on this tricycle. I believe it's going to last you a long time because a lot of the components that it's got seem to be typical of most tricycles, even some of the premium ones. So that's it, 250 watt tricycle. It's legal and compliant in Australia, especially when they bring in the new special purpose EPAC regulations for a tricycle throttle. If it doesn't come through with that, just disconnect the throttle and use it as pedal assist. Either way, great value. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. This is Michael from Trike Bike. See you next time.